Hello, welcome back. As you can see, I'm in yet another glamorous hotel room, so I thought I would record a bit of a video while I have a bit of time. I just landed in Ireland. I flew from Kona on Monday, 2 days at home with my parents, which was super nice. As you can hear, I've got a little bit of a cold, which isn't ideal. Just about getting over it now, and here in Ireland to shoot a wedding. So I thought I'd do a quick video on what I got paid in Kona. A few people asking kind of how it works, who paid me, how I got paid, how much I got paid. I'm pretty open about that sort of stuff as I want more people to get into content creation and be able to work it out for them. So here we go. This is how much I got paid in Kona. Play the intro. To note, I was not in Kona to make as much money as possible, which might seem like a silly thing to say when you run a content business. Obviously, points mean prizes. I was there to make sure Ruth had the best race she possibly could. Now, that meant I did turn down a little bit of work and made sure I was available when needed to just help out with Ruth, jump in on sessions, make sure she got all the filming she needed out of me and more. So some of you might think that this was not the best trip from a business standpoint. However, with Ruth being my main client, her racing well benefits all of us in the future. First things first, Ruth paid me herself. So Ruth covered my accommodation and the food bill while we were staying there. So everything was covered for the first 2 weeks before I moved in to the Precision Hydration house. So accommodation wise, I didn't pay anything for the first 2 weeks, or the second two actually. First was covered by Ruth, and then it was covered by Precision Hydration, obviously both of which under the agreement that they would get filming out of me. Ruth also paid me cash. We have our regular retainer, which came out of £500. So while it doesn't seem like a huge amount of money, that covers, ancillary bits, coffees here and there, various things I needed to buy. We then had one of the sponsors pay for my flights. So Dove from Parkours was kind enough to get me over the line. He covered my trip travel-wise. The agreement was that they had access to my Ruth content, or some of it. So we did a day of shooting and I put a video and a reel together for them, which was all fairly straightforward stuff. We obviously had loads of content, so made sure they got plenty from on the island. I also had to film for Fenella and Laura Siddle, both Parkours athletes, but they're both super easy, didn't make it difficult at all. Billy drove me for Fenella, which really helped. I also got just shy of £1,000 from another of Ruth's sponsors in return for a video and a day of shooting. So we did a day of filming around that. There were probably 300 photos that came out of it, equally reels and a long form 15-minute video that really celebrates them. So that will be coming soon. I won't say who that is right now because it hasn't dropped yet. We are still finalizing some of the agreement on that. An age grouper paid me a small amount of money for an hour, so that was £200 just for an hour of stills. So we did some family shots on the beach, and then we did some bike filming because she wasn't sure she would be back in Kona, so that was really cool to capture some memories for her. We just used the lava fields down at Mauna Lani. I took some of those stills in here. That was a good fun shoot. On top of that, Ruth's nutrition sponsor Never Second bought some images, so there's £250 of images to them. Just came out at a few stills. They paid me per image rather than time, which is more expensive for them, but you know, they only needed some very specific shots, so they were quite keen to do that. Ruth's YouTube generated £450 while we were there, which means I get about £360 from that. So again, just a little bit of extra cash to tick me along. And Hoob paid me 2 days of work, which was £1,000, to create content around all their athletes. So that was Anne, Kat, Ruth, Indy, and a bit of Sam, mostly focusing on Anne, Kat, and Ruth because they're obviously racing. But as it happened, with me having content of Sam and Indy, it made sense just to include that in the package, just so everyone gets good value. I'd already done the work, it wasn't anything extra from my side, so they just get more ongoing value, and it encourages us to work together more. So the prices slightly vary depending on who wants what, how much work came out of it, but you know, some people need a lot more editing than others, especially when it's video versus stills or something longer form. All in all, I got paid £3,200. My costs out there were minimal because I was quite often fed, taken for lunch in return for various favours. So I made a profit of something around £2,000 mark for 2 weeks work. That's excluding running costs back in the UK, like the employee I have here, etc, etc. All in all, a good trip. Ruth's YouTube channel went up about 300 subscribers, as well as the revenue, and the social media accounts were up about 150% on engagement. This YouTube channel went from 500 subscribers to 620, so across the board it was a great success. While those metrics aren't what I'm measuring, the success of the trip was measured entirely on Ruth's race and getting her in a good place. They're always good to know that the brands across the board are still growing. So yeah, there you go. Hope that was in some way interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon.
Hi everybody. Meet Steve. I'll just put my hand here for scale because he's massive. Massive. Ruth brought her guitar with her, so we've been doing guitar lessons.
Where's the song?
It's the We Love Swimming song. We love swimming, we love swimming. That's it, that's all I've got. Guys, we'd like chocolate chip muffin. Ay, ay, ay. Smash.